There's so much, and it just seems like how important it is to become aware of what these hints mean. It seems to me like it's going to take a lot of study to understand what's being presented, to be able to eventually see what it means. I kind of feel like I'm in kindergarten still, and it just seems like it's going to take time and effort. But it was interesting how he was saying how feeling is a good guide to what something is really worth. It's like if a person doesn't feel that this is important, that this new presentation is important, then it just isn't in their life at this time yet. Something that's valuable and a real treasure that mankind really would love to become aware of, but still, what's it going to take to, even if a person is trying to understand what's being presented? It takes takes our risk of putting out the effort to see even what it means to each of us.
Well, this is certainly an individual path for sure, and if a person really wants to know what's going on, there's a lot of study that we have to do, especially being aware of our dreams. The thinking and feeling qualities are the staple diet of most humans in the lower realms of positioning. And so, for the most part, dreams are built on these two aspects. In those states of dreams by which one is in love with another person who deals code of ethics and religious ideals one may refuse to accept are simply an effect of a feeling which is from causes that are much deeper than the attraction embodied by the loved one, on whomever the feelings of love has been projected. Love in dreams are deep feelings, together with thought processes which are directed toward another, whether the other person knows this consciously or not. Most people seem to have a well-adapted life on the outside, but many times they lack any control with their unconsciousness. What eventually shows up from the lack of control and understanding on their part leads to cases of arrested development. So as one grows older, their pattern of life and their overall attitude becomes more fossilized according to general standards, as they experience more inflexibility and the drying up of their life from their own inner source. This is where people cease to explore, thinking that they have come to the principles of their life, and now it's time to cruise into the heavenly abode or the eternal rest. Also, most hold to the past and feel the best part of their life has already passed them by. Life is not about age or anything the personal self dreams up, but about being new Now, once the real connection is made, the knowingness begins to move into a person's aura and real being. Life is the great adventure, and there is no end at all to continue, and you continue to evolve. Your dream visions and what one experiences, with which most of the time the personal self cannot even fathom, recognize, or even perceive, that is so beneficial with releasing worries and tensions and stress as a host of many things that are constantly bothering a little personal mind and body. With the real guides, many unseen obstacles were taken away, so the new student can get on with their daily routines. There is a huge fear factor that is mostly hidden and obscured from the conscious mind of those in the social orders, because it has all been purposely disguised to look like a part of the landscape, and also marketed to seem as though it's logical and reasonable that it exists. And it must be so if it exists. This, of course, is so preposterous, yet the rep systems are built upon this fear factor, as this is now how they maintain their operations of control. I recently saw a National Geographic special about North Korea. One might say that North Korea is a total mind prison because of how the government is run to subdue and control its population. The head dictator is like that of the late Jim Jones, and even more so, almost from birth. The Korean people are taught wholeheartedly to worship the head dictator as their God on earth. There is no intent, no cell phones, and no pictures of anyone else, such as the advertisements, the movie stars, or even other political figures. Nothing. I can see that most people in the Western world would look upon what is taking place in North Korea as an abomination, but I can see that there is so much more that most people do not see. Physical appearance and circumstances are one thing, but the invisible netting that has been consciously and unconsciously put in place that provides the hardest prison to escape from. North Korea is a very open and obvious example of how the populations on the earth are now controlled. Yet most people will not see the same subtle controls with the society that they're living in. The entire world and earth is wrapped with this fear factor of control, and it is very real. The subversive mind control that is here now has been planned by the dark brats for hundreds of years. It has silently covered the entire earth without most people ever noticing, and it is how it has come to be. Because of the high-end technology that they have, the dark brats use various frequencies to control and influence people's minds and emotions, like that of HARP. Most of the population is not aware of this, as it would sound like science fiction to many. There is no reality, no difference with how the North Korean head dictator and the corporate identity known as a United States corporation operates. Most people are fooled by political personalities and the fronts that they have created. When a person studies the real side of human history, they will come to discover what has led up to the wars and economic misfortunes for the common people. The earth world can be a beautiful place, but it's a place in life, and that is all. Humans with their desires and ideas of conquest have provided all the causes and effects that all of us are now experiencing. Here is where a person's dream visions are very important. They can lead one into multidimensional dimensions that are even more real than the earth. For the real guides are not into any type of confirmation, as they already know that using force to meet an opposing force only leads to more situations to deal with and are burdened by. They teach their new students to become more aware by the way of written works, such as the Adventure series of Is, and especially for dream visions. The physical works are merely a reference to something real and not an actuality. Dwayne, the great writer, has not produced any doctrine that is of a religious, political, or spiritual means, nor rules and regulations, not even any guidelines to adhere to. His writings are examples of great adventures. This is what the best of life is all about. The greater adventure that lies just beyond our breath from the place here in space. Not out there somewhere, but right here with ourselves is all life is and isness. While we're here, we can experiment with our own real awareness to discover what unlimited potential we have. We can learn to leave the mind and emotional attachments behind and fly off to fun and romantic places like Peter Pan and Superman. There are no limits as long as one respects and others and does not interfere with other people's lives. Real freedom is being able to supersede the human side and explore the greater positions. I like this. Mm-hmm. Somebody has something really important and lovely to say.
Hi, I'll share something. So, in regards to what she was saying, I think it's very important that everyone takes a look at all of the marketing ploy and fronts, just appearances of things, because the reality of the situation might seem very obvious to many people, because just from talking, just regular talks with most people that I have, they think they really know what's going on. But there's so much more behind the surface behind the appearance of things. There's so much more. And it takes a strong will and intent and a strong perseverance to pierce that veil, you know? Just because you think you know what's going on, I can pretty much guarantee you don't. So I think it's very important that everyone takes a look at the appearance of things. And that even includes yourself, you know? There's so much more to you than you realize. There's so much more to you than this physical body and the appearance of yourself. There's so much more to everything. Life is endless, and it's continually becoming more and more aware of itself. And everyone has the opportunity to do so for themselves, too, to become more aware of themselves and of the whole of life. It really is just a great adventure.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh, very well said, Eric. Very well said. The rep systems want people to be rigid and programmed with themselves, and so many of these people will experience undesirable dreams. So the authorities, those official, unaware people, will downgrade a person's dream vision to where they are merely one's imagination or fantasies of the mind. In this way, a person cannot escape the psychological and political propaganda that all the governments and religious factors create to keep the masses supporting their takeover causes. And so the dreamer cannot understand what's taking place, and he will many times go to the various dream books on the market and not find reliable relief, but will accept the answer which suits him. It may bring about a solution for the person as the meaning is accepted with a possible mystical or metaphysical sense about it, which is many just worthless. Most dream interpretations are phrased in terms of some sort of prophecy and something desirable, such as health, wealth, and happiness, or even love and a new relationship. The person is temporarily happy and waits for the prophecies to come into life, and usually without any effort on his part. So, as nothing happens, they go for another reading, which gives the same ideas and promises, and in time, the person resolves to a state of despondency and can even become a chronic despondent, or what is officially termed as manic depression. Most guidance is the real cure for that anyone but the elderly age of a person many times may bring about a closed-mindedness, even with those who think that they're free thinkers.